Chapter 36. Let us rally around the Pope. So liberal Catholicism has no value for the Church, and no future, except for weak minds and souls. In these terrible times, the solution is for true Catholics to rally around the man of God who is the Pope, obeying his directives without questioning. Obedience to the Rock of Peter will make it solid once more. It is all too obvious that in the present state of the world, liberal Catholicism is of no value, either as a doctrine or as a means of defending religion. That it is as incapable of ensuring a lasting peace for the Church as it is of obtaining for her the slightest advantage or the slightest glory. It was only ever an illusion, and all that remains of it now is stubbornness and pretense. We can predict its fate. Quickly abandoned by noble minds, which gave it a certain superficial attraction, its future is to be swallowed up in the general heresy. May the followers it drags with it not be transformed into ardent persecutors, according to the standard illogic of weak minds overcome by the spirit of conciliation. Some minds seem to have been made for error, as some temperaments seem made for illness. Anything unhealthy, passing by, attaches to them. They are swept away by the first puff of wind, by the first deceitful argument. They are the share, the spoils, the plaything of the powers of the air, the demons, and they can be defined as antiquity defined slaves. Non tam viles quam nulli. Not so much low as simply nobodies. Let us not so much try to convince them as to give them an example that they may preserve them. In line with the faith, reason cries out to us to unite and strengthen ourselves through obedience. To whom shall we go? Liberals and non-liberals alike, all of us struck by the dreadful unrest of these times, know only one thing for certain, that the only man who knows anything at all is that man to whom God is always present, the man who has the mind of God. We must rally together around the Supreme Pontiff, follow his directives without faltering, and proclaim with him those truths that will alone save our souls and the world. We must refrain from all endeavor to make his words fit our own mindset. When the Supreme Pontiff has made known a pastoral decision, no one has the right to add or take away the smallest letter. Non addere, non minuere. What he affirms is true forever. Any other course of action will only end by dividing us further until we break up. That would be the greatest misfortune of all. The so-called liberal doctrines have weakened our ranks. Before they came along, helped on their way, alas, by a political upset, we might have been few in number, but we were still something. We formed a block. Reduce this block as much as you like, even granting it were little more than a pebble. At least this pebble had its own consistency and weight. Liberalism has split and crumbled it into dust. I doubt we can even say it takes up more room. Dispersion is not extension. In any case, 100, 1,000 bushels of dust will never provide what it takes to charge one slingshot. Let us today strive for one thing and one thing only: to obey, obey, obey. Obedience will give us back our rock-like solidity, and on this rock, Hanc Petram, the truth will set its conquering foot.